Deadpool and Wolverine are almost here, but who else are we hoping to see join them on the big screen? Bob is a character that I have loved for a long time in the comics. For a time he was one of Deadpool's closest pals, some might even say Deadpool's best friend. Bob was initially a lackey of Hydra employed by the evil organization who was compelled by Deadpool to have a change of heart when Wade infiltrated one of Hydra's bases. It was there that Bob met Deadpool, and from that day forward his life was forever changed. For better and for worse. Well, probably mostly for worse, let's be honest. But Deadpool does have his fun moments for sure. Who do you think would have the most fun with Deadpool? Which characters do you think would have the worst time? And yes, I know we've seen Bob sort of before alluded to in Deadpool, but I would love more Bob time, you know what I mean? You can never have too much Bob, in my opinion. In the comics, Captain America has always been a character that Deadpool has looked up to, for better and at one point honestly for worse. When Deadpool followed an alternate version of Captain America blindly, who ended up becoming a kind of Hydra Supreme. Cap, Wolverine, and Deadpool also had a team up of their own in the story The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, so it would be kinda cool to see some inspiration taken from that story as well. I love Hitmonkey. He's such a fun, sort of niche character, and he honestly does not get enough love. This might be a good time too to feature him in the MCU. Not only is he just a fun character to see Deadpool come up against in the comics, but he also recently had his own animated series. Hitmonkey, for those who are not familiar, is a sometimes antagonist, sometimes ally of Deadpool's. Like Deadpool, he is a mercenary who specializes more in assassinations. Although, you know, Deadpool has also been known to do that too, of course. Hitmonkey started out as a regular monkey, but was driven to seek revenge on the men who had killed his clan. The spirit of the known assassin who brought danger to his clan when the assassin sought refuge with them acts as his guide, following Hitmonkey and helping him to secure his revenge. Kang the Conqueror is another character I think it would be cool to have in this film. I know what everyone is already thinking as I say this, but what about Jonathan Majors? While Majors may be out, that doesn't mean that the character of Kang has to be out. At least maybe not right away. It would at least be nice to have something to kind of like tie up that loose end by clarifying that the threat of Kang really and truly is gone if we're gonna move on from that. The thing about Kang is that as he's a time traveler, he has lived many lives and also has many alternates. And not all of these alternates look the same in the comics, quite the contrary actually. So someone else could take over the role and could still make sense in canon, or we could simply accept a recast at point blank. I know Zazie Beetz is probably not going to be back in Deadpool 3. She herself has actually confirmed that, you know, she's not going to be back in Deadpool 3. She has not been contracted to reprise her role in the film, but still, a girl can dream. I loved Zazie as Domino, and when it comes to the comics, I just love Deadpool and Domino's interactions there as well. Domino usually has to struggle to put up with Wade's antics, but is probably one of the few heroes pretty equipped to handle him and his harebrained schemes thanks to her luck-based mutant probability powers. If you know me, then this next character shouldn't surprise you as a cameo request. When it's coming from me, it's kind of expected at this point, I think. We're talking about Sorcerer Supreme Wong. Yeah, I just love Benedict Wong as this character. I just love Benedict Wong in general. He just seems great. You can just tell he's always having fun in this role though, and he honestly has heightened, at least for me, the character from the comics. Benedict Wong's portrayal made me more interested in Wong in general. He's also been making quite a few cameos across the Marvel Cinematic Universe lately, so I would love to see him continue this trend with Deadpool and Wolverine. We did see a portal in the most recent trailer that looked like it could have been made by a sling ring. Is it possible that Wong is the one who made it? I know people have a lot of theories, but I kinda would love it to be Wong. I think that would be great. Professor X is obviously a character I'd love to see in Deadpool 3. I mean, can we even really have Cassandra Nova without Professor X? If we do get a Charles Xavier added into the mix, I have to imagine it would be his younger version, played by James McAvoy. As much as I love Sir Patrick Stewart, I would assume McAvoy would make more sense if we are interpreting Cassandra Nova as like an evil counterpart, an alter ego, a twin sis, or like an outright just mummadry to Charles, as then McAvoy would actually be closer in age to Emma Corrin than Stewart would be, and of course Emma Corrin plays Cassandra Nova in the movie. Although even then, there's quite a bit of an age gap between McAvoy and Corrin. McAvoy is currently 45 and Corrin is 28, so there'd still be a gap, but I feel like it could work, we could accept it. I would accept it. This is the one that people have been theorizing about for some time that we are going to be getting. This rumor, I believe, was mainly based on the fact that people saw Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift like hanging out together. The two are friends due to Taylor being good friends friends with Ryan's wife, Blake Lively. Fans then started dreaming up a dream cast scenario where Taylor Swift plays Allison Blair, aka Dazzler. Would I be into it? Yes, I would. The latest bit of tunnel vision-like evidence for this is that the last track title, Clara Bow, on Taylor's new album, The Tortured Poets Department, ends with the word dazzling. So a lot of people are like, does that mean she's gonna be Dazzler? I don't know. That's a pretty slim, we got pretty tiny amounts of evidence here that aren't really evidence, you know what I mean? For those who are unfamiliar with Dazzler, she is a mutant who initially just wanted to be a singer. She can use her powers to basically transform sound into light, allowing her to produce some stunning light shows during her performances. She ultimately ends up getting pulled into the superhero life and goes on to join the X-Men, teaming up with them from time to time, but usually still fairly focused on her music career throughout her comic book history. I personally love Dazzler. I'm a big Daz fan. She is one of my favorite mutants, and while I haven't seen much solid evidence to support this cameo theory, as I said, I would love to see Taylor's portrayal of this beloved character. So if it does end up being true, that's awesome. I don't know about you, but if we're going the route of Fox X-Men, and especially Fox X-Men villains, then I think there is more than one character that we need to get in here. This time around, we are talking about Magneto. Magneto is simply put one of those iconic characters when it comes to the X-Men franchise. And I feel like, having seen that a bunch of Fox X-Men villains were shown to be appearing in this trailer, at least in some capacity, hi Azazel, hi Lady Deathstrike, hi Toad, that this won't be a proper villain reunion without Magneto. I would also love to see Mystique too, but I'm not sure if she needs to be in here. Or rather, if I could have at least one pick for another X-Men based villain, I'd have to pick Magneto as my most wanted, I guess I should say. Granted, if they want to give us even more X-Men villains, obviously I would be down to just have them all in there, Mystique included. I do love Mystique, as long as we have time and space to feature them. And if you're asking which Magneto, I will take both, please. Sir Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender. I love both for different reasons. I think both are great. Let's just get everyone in here. Why not? X-Men reunion, let's go. Following the events of Loki Season 2, Loki is now one of the most important characters in all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Considering that the TVA has been alluded to in the trailers for the film, this is a cameo that I would of course like to see. Obviously, we know that Tom Hiddleston's time as Loki has pretty much come to an end, with Loki's story having come full circle, but at the same time, Hiddleston has also been so grateful for his time as Loki and being given such a big role in the MCU that really, I think, like, launched his career, that we know that it's likely that if he was called upon, especially for a fun cameo, I think he'd answer that call. So I'm still hopeful we could see him return, at least for a moment, in Deadpool 3. That's about it. I'm your host, Amanda McKnight. You stay nerdy.